The only one way to reach your success is to fall in love with your work. Do you want me to repeat it again? Yeah. The only one way to reach your success is to fall in love with your work. Yeah, that was interesting. I hope you got me what I am saying it. This is Neha and you're watching my channel HARNAM Eduzone. So today I'm here with my English series which I had started last class. So what was I was explaining in that, I had explained so many things in that. Further proceeding with this, today's session is that I'll be explaining you what are the particular rules that you wanted to learn about a noun. What are the rules that you will apply to use a noun properly. So basically there are 7 to 8 rules that you wanted to know generally for any of the perfect use of noun in your sentences. So let's start. What are we going to start? We're going to start with the rules of the nouns must be known. The first rule to use the noun properly is that never use the article before the material noun. So you should not use the article along with the material noun before the material noun. What are the articles? Usually there are 3 articles: the, an. But if you wanted to differentiate in the form of definite article and indefinite article, the is known to be definite article, and an are known to be indefinite article. Alright, so never try to use these 3 articles in front of any material noun. For example, I can't say the leather, I can't say the plastic. So I can't say a leather, I can't say a plastic. So leather, plastic, wood and all are the material noun which we had discussed in the last video. So you should not use the articles in front of the material noun. Never use that. It seems to be foolishness if you speak in front of the people who have good knowledge in English grammar. Alright. The next thing is, the second rule to use the noun properly is the material noun and abstract nouns. The material noun and abstract noun are not used in plural. You can't use material and abstract nouns in your sentences in the form of plurals. For example, as I said, the first example if I wanted to give is that my chairs are made up of plastics. I don't say plastics. I wanted to say plastic. So my chairs are made up of plastic. So never say plastics, only say plastic. That means you are using material noun, no matter in whichever sentence it is, you will use it in the form of singular. Okay. The next thing, abstract noun in the sense feelings, strength and the state of being which you explain in the terms of words in the nouns, that is known to be abstract noun. So never use abstract noun in the form of plural. For example, my parents loves me a lot. I don't say loves, I say love. My parents love me a lot. So love is a feeling which comes under abstract noun, but you can't put any plural thing to it to make it an immeasurable thing. No matter how much they love you, but it should be in the form of singular. So I have given it in the slides. You can look after it and revise it again. So that was the second rule. The third rule is that collective nouns, no matter it is representing the living beings. What are the collective nouns? Army, parliament, police. So such kind of words, even though they involve living beings in it, never give them a status of any particular gender. So keep it as a neutral gender whenever you use collective nouns in your sentences. I'll give you an example that India have a very big army. Okay, I am not representing it his, her army and all. India have a very big army. Or else, to be very clear, that India is very proud of its army. It's, I'm not saying her or I'm not saying his. India is very proud of its army. So whenever you use the collective noun, treat it to be a neutral gender. For example, the other example which is just clicking to my brain is that whenever you say that the jury had given its best decision. Jury, number of people who decide the performance. Okay, so I'm using it in that way. A jury, a collective noun which I'm using in the sentence. A jury gave its decision up to the mark. So it's, I'm using it as it. So the third rule you wanted to remember is that whenever you use a collective noun, use it in the form of neutral gender. Alright, that was the third one. Alright, the next rule is that whenever you're using a proper noun, sometimes it tends to be used in the place of common noun also. What I meant to say is that sometimes proper nouns will act like a common noun. For example, I can say that in our Indian history, we say that a great warrior of the Gupta dynasty, Samudragupta, is being referred to the Napoleon. Okay, so we have a statement in our history books that Samudragupta is known to be a Napoleon of India. So Napoleon is a person, he's also a warrior who had invaded so many places and he have a great history. So we refer Samudragupta having the same characteristics and having the same achievements as equal to Napoleon. So we say that Samudragupta is known to be a Napoleon of India. So Napoleon is a proper noun, but I'm using it in the common noun. Why? Because to make the things much clearer, to make things more understandable how Samudragupta was. So sometimes the proper nouns are also be used as common noun. The other example if you wanted me to give is that Kalidasa is known to be the Shakespeare of India. So Shakespeare is a proper noun, but I'm using in the form of common noun, comparing it to Kalidasa. So this was the rule. The next rule which you will be seeing is that the small children and the lower level of animals are considered to be in the form of neuter gender. It is one of the rule of the noun. I can give you the example that, see, when a small baby is lying on the bed, we don't say that a small girl or small boy is lying on the bed. We say that the small baby is crying on who is lying on the bed. The small baby is, so cute. So we don't specify the gender for the small baby, small children, and then we never specify the gender of the animals of lower level. For example, if I find a lizard on the wall and I found that it had lost its tail, so I'm using it's. So I say that the lizard have lost its tail. The lizard have lost its tail. So the lower level of animals sometimes are represented in the sentences as a neutral gender. The nouns are considered to be in the neuter gender. So the other thing what I wanted to say is that whenever you use this pair of words such as dozens, thousands, hundreds, dozen, thousand, hundred, any score, when such kind of words are added along with the number, then it will no more be a plural ones. We don't say 10 hundreds, we say 10 hundred. We don't say 10 dozens, we say 10 dozen. So whenever this quantity representing words are used in the statement, it will never be plural one when a number is added to it. So have a care about it, which I am showing here, and you can reveal it. So review it. So the other thing what I wanted to explain is whenever you wanted to personify the things, whenever you need to add a life to few things, then for example, I wanted to personify the sun as a masculine power, or I wanted to personify the mother nature. See, mother nature I'm saying. So I am personifying the nature to a feminine gender, to a mother. So whenever you wanted to give a life to the things, you need to personify the things. Then you will personify in the form of feminine gender or in the form of masculine gender. See, if you wanted to represent in the form of masculine gender, maybe it represents anger, vengeance, temper, the anxiety, such kind of things are represented for the masculine gender. Feminine gender having a calmness, calm characteristics, having a gentleness. Whenever you want to represent the words in such a form, so you will use a masculine or the feminine gender characteristics personification in the proper sentences. For example, I can say that the mother earth have hold us together like her children. So I can say the mother earth have hold all of us in her like her children's. So I am personifying the earth, giving a feminine gender to it. You can do that, all right? And if I say that the nature had showed us vengeance by taking hundreds of lives. So the nature, see, for example, there was a flood, for example, there was a tsunami, or for example there was a cyclone which took hundreds of people's of life along with it. So it is showing its power. It's showing its the harsh reality of destructive power. It can destroy anything. So somewhere it have the characteristics of a masculine gender. So I'm just personifying the nature to a masculine gender. So I say that the nature showed its vengeance by taking hundreds of lives. So that is the thing. And apart from this, one rule which I missed out to say is that see, a few plural nouns which can be used in your sentences may not give a meaning of plural, but it is in the form of singular only, but it sounds to be plural. For example, can you give me some example? Yeah. Some example are, we use the names of the subjects like mathematics, physics, we use mathematics, physics. So S is added to it, which may be sounding like a plural, but it is not a plural word. It is a singular word. So that is must known thing, must know. You should know the rule about this. So those were the rules which I had discussed along with you people. Go through it. That are the rules of the nouns which you wanted to use. So I'll just revise it. Never use the article before the material noun, and never use the material nouns and the abstract noun in the form of plural, and never use a collective noun giving it any gender. Please use it as a neutral gender. And the other thing is the lower level of animals and the small babies are always treated as the neutral gender. And you know what, sometimes proper nouns can also be act as a common noun, and you can personify anything giving it as a masculine or a feminine gender to it. And whenever you use the words showing the quantity like dozens, hundred, thousands, when it is added along with the number, it will be no more in the plural form. And the last thing is, some words may be pretending to be plural, but they will be no more plural. They give a meaning of singular itself. So these were the few rules of the nouns, and I'll be seeing you in the next video with having the types of pronoun and rules of pronoun together. So until then, take care.